Hey guys, my name is Paul Makaya. I'm here with
Kudzai O'Brien.
and we're here to let you in into some of the conversations we have here at Breakhouse House. So you're a fly on the wall on the discussion here.
Yeah. So today we're going to be talking and trying to unbundle something that is so huge, and basically that is, marketing, which basically kind of sums up everything that we do. So we really just want to touch on that because a lot of people really tend to question if marketing even works, if it's necessary. I've come across clients who definitely feel, but sometimes it's better off just having a sales team. You don't need a marketing department, or sometimes it's called sales and marketing. But if you look at the way it structures, the marketing aspect is not really captured. It's really just the sales.
Exactly. So from our experience in the business, what I've noticed that, like what Kuti's been saying, is that marketing is not given the value, especially in the African Zimbabwean context, because look, maybe across the world, it's the first thing to be cut if budgets are low.
Yeah.
It's the department where it's given to interns and people don't know what they're working on.
Yeah.
It's the first department where it's joined with departments that don't make sense, like what you're saying, sales and marketing, PR, marketing. It's just one of the not valued areas of the business, one of the arms of the business that we note there. So maybe to start, let me pose the question to you, Mr. Kudzi, so let's start the discussion. Is marketing important in a business?
When I started thinking about that, even as you're sharing right now, I don't think it's important. I think it's essential. It's not possible to have a business without marketing, because the very essence of people coming to the knowledge that there is actually a business that is in existence, how they come across that information is actually a product of marketing. So for me, it's like essential. It's not even,
So maybe just to write on what you're saying, what I've noticed is that most businesses do is that they confuse sales and marketing. Whereas sales has a quick return. If I go and I sales to a business and I told them about the business and I convince them, usually some of the times it brings an instant sale. Whereas if you go through the marketing process and you promote your business, you do the proper pricing, which we're going to talk about, it's not an instant win. It's a long-term goal. Whereas now in the world, because of social media or internet, people want instant goals, and now we have short-term thinking. You kind of forget about the long-term brand building efforts that go beyond the brand. Let's look at some examples of brands. Let's look at local brands, Econet, or international brands like Microsoft, Nike. I've never seen a salesperson from Nike coming to my door, yet I still want to buy a Nike shoe.
Yeah.
It's because of the long-term brand building and marketing efforts and following marketing process that they've gone through. So I don't know, is there something that you'd agree on?
Yeah. I totally concur, because I think obviously in Africa, in Zimbabwe in particular, I think sometimes the very nature of, or the fragility of our economies, understandably so for businesses, the fragility of our economies sometimes really make that kind of long-term planning very difficult. So if you look at other international brands, it's really easier, I guess, to play a more broader term plan than typically what happens with some of our local brands. Because what then happens is it's more of like a self-fulfilling prophecy of doom that happens. So if you've got a 5-year plan that you want to push your brand, that you want to market, and it so happens by some chance that there's some economic disruptions that take place, you don't see the result, that process has been interrupted. So as a result, you then also kind of feel like, what's the point? So hence maybe that's where we then have that trend towards just focusing on the short term. What is it that I can do in the next 3-6 months? Rarely do you have companies that have got a brand strategy or a marketing strategy that is concentrating, 5-10 years into the future.
So I think definitely there are two ways that marketing can be looked at, which we need to demystify. Number one, from the conversation we just had from the beginning, marketing, we're looking at one aspect of it, which is the promotion.
Yes.
But marketing is a bigger process than that. Number one, it includes the pricing of your product.
Yeah.
Is the price right for the target market? Are you charging the right price for the product?
Yeah.
You might be. You might find it funny, but you might have a premium product and you sell it at a cheap price, and people won't buy it because they will feel like it's cheap quality.
Yeah.
So you need to get your pricing right. And then number two, the promotion of it, which is what we're talking about. How are you promoting the product? Because people won't know about your product if you don't promote it. You will have the best kept secret. The best kept secret in your product, saying, I've got the best product in the world, and people won't know about it.
Yeah.
And this is not including all the other aspects, because there are 7 P's in marketing: the price, the position, the placement of the product, the process of you getting your product out. All those areas are all part of marketing, and we tend in business or in the business world altogether only tend to look at the promotion aspect.
Yeah.
So if you really look at it, you can't start a business without doing following some proper marketing process. Because how will you know the pricing? How will you know exactly? How will you know the people to get on board? How will you know the customers, the target market, without doing a target market analysis? How will you know what your competitor is doing so that you can counter them? So it's a bigger field than what we look at, and because we just look at it from the promotion aspect, you won't really fulfill your business goals.
So I totally agree with you, and so I guess our advice would be, you need to make sure, first of all, just establish it within yourself and know that marketing is essential for your business, right? More importantly, especially on a long-term basis, right? And so, of course, I understand that what we've said, sometimes we tend to focus on the promotion because that tends to bring in the results quicker, right? And in the short term. But it's very important that for your business, for your market, even for your department, when you're doing your marketing, remember what it is. Marketing is it's a series of processes that touch different areas, right? So you always need to make sure that no matter how small your budget, right, each and every area is being addressed. So what I would advise is to say, if you've got a very small budget, which is the complaint for most people, maybe just make sure you dedicate to say that for me, 100% of my budget, 10% is touching this area, 5% that area. What you're trying to do is just to make sure that each and every element in the marketing process, no matter how small it might be, is at least being addressed. And on the long term, you definitely achieve better results.
Definitely agree. And also to just jump on as well, some of it doesn't even need budget. You don't need a budget to establish who your customer is, to create a customer profile. Because you might feel like your customer, but do you really? Who's your customer? Is a middle-aged man who's looking for a premium car? And if it's a middle-aged man, where do they work? How much do they earn? Where do they hang out? Because you need all that information so that you talk to your customer in the right way. It doesn't make sense for you, right, to talk like a technician, right? Our car is a 400-liter cc, whatever. And your target market is not an expert in that space. So you'll be speaking to a wall literally. So some things don't need a budget. Like what I'm saying, you don't need a budget to know your target market. You don't need a budget to establish your business goals and your marketing goals. You don't need a budget to establish where you're going to place the product and what price you're going to place that product. You don't need a budget for a lot of the marketing elements, because those are the things that are going to be your true north while you start doing business, because you know that, hey, these are my brand values. If I'm a family brand, I can't advertise or bring in alcohol into my shops. If I'm a family brand, I can't say this certain thing. So you need to really establish. And that's where sometimes we lose it, because you see a brand down the line doing things that are out of character. And customers then deassociate with that brand because you never establish who you are at the beginning.
Yeah.
So let's lose the short-term thinking and think long-term. And it even speaks to the people who do engage in marketing, because they think so short-term, they're always looking for short-term results. And when, like what you're saying, when they don't get the short-term results, they quickly cut it off. But you know what? You're cutting off your lifeline because people won't buy from you.
Yeah.
When you're in trouble, look for money and get the customers.
Yeah.
You don't chop off your leg because it hurts. You
Yeah.
go to the clinic and get it fixed.
Yeah.
So it doesn't make sense to chop off the only way for you to make revenue.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. I totally agree. And I think when it comes to marketing, that's obviously one of the big things that obviously exists. The relationship between what you're spending and what needs to be done. And what I came to then actually realize, as you were sharing right now, is the fact that if you're really budget conscious, right, you're better off making sure that you follow the process that Paul was talking about, because that's how you actually save money. Because most of the time you're going to be pouring resources speaking to the wrong people with the wrong messaging, right? So over the long term, you notice that you won't achieve the results and you literally would have wasted your money. So if you really want to save, the best thing is you just need to make sure that you follow this process.
Exactly, like what you're saying, it doesn't make sense for a B2B company to have a $1,000 billboard a month. You're not speaking to 50 million people, you're speaking to 100 exclusive clients.
Exactly.
So some of those decisions come from ego of the founder, of the marketing manager who wants to show that they're doing something. Because it might be you literally writing emails, customers' emails to your potential clients.
Exactly.
And you get more return from that, and you don't spend $1,000. So you need to be more strategic in your thinking, more intentional in your thinking than being more tactical and doing the cheap trend in that time. It doesn't make sense for a B2B company, to be on TikTok, for example.
Yeah.
But it might make sense for a retailer to be on TikTok.
Yeah.
It might not make sense for a company to be on social media only, whereas they are a worldwide chain, because 60% of our population are in rural areas.
Yeah.
Maybe SMS or text, SMS or radio might be more useful, and all that comes from the understanding of the marketing process.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So I guess from what we are mutually agreeing is that marketing is necessary, but it's a long play. It's a long-term game. If you're thinking in short-term periods, it might not be. You might need to slow down and really think through the whole process.
Yeah.
Because it is the essence of business.
Exactly.
No matter how great your product is, if no one knows about it, it might be the best kept secret.
Yeah, exactly. And so don't say marketing doesn't work unless you have actually done the marketing. And by that, I mean unless you've really gone through the whole process.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Hopefully this has helped some business owners, some marketers in their journey, so that you can thrive and survive these times that you're always looking for more cash.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
think long term. Build a big brand, build a strong brand. Yeah. So thank you very much. This is from me and Kudzin.
Signing out.
Signing out.